Eala ASB Classic run after bowing to Wang Xinyu in semis. Eala recovered from a slow start, but ultimately ran out of steam down the stretch to absorb a 7-5, 5-7, 4-6 loss to Wang Xinyu of China in the ASB Classic semifinals on Saturday in Auckland, New Zealand. Wang, the 7th seed in the tournament, will face either Elena Svitolina of Ukraine or Eva Jovic of USA in the championship round. Eala and Jovic previously teamed up in the doubles round, where they absorbed a semifinals exit. With the loss, Eala closed out her first tournament for the year and will next see action at the Kooyong Classic in Melbourne, Australia. Eala was deep in a 0-4 hole in the opening frame before regaining her form and winning 7 of the next 8 games, including the final one, which she ended with a double fault from the 24-year-old Wang. Wang staged a similar fight back in set 2, erasing a 3-5 deficit and dominating the next 4 games to level the game into 1 set apiece and force a deciding third set. Eala momentarily left the court to undergo a medical timeout and address her back issues after being down 0-3 in the final frame. The world number 53 would then return and find herself in a 0-4 disadvantage, but replicated the fighting spirit she displayed early on by taking advantage of several errors from Wang to steal 4 of the next 5 games, 4-5. However, Wang found the right finishing touches she needed to give Eala the boot. Eala came from a historic 2025 season that saw her break into the WTA Top 100, claim her first WTA 125 title, and secure her first Southeast Asian Games gold medal. The Auckland sky was a pale wash of blue when Eala stepped onto the court for her semifinal clash at the ASB Classic. It was the kind of morning that promised possibility. Cool air, expectant silence, the hum of a crowd ready to witness something meaningful. For Eala, the moment carried more than the weight of a match. It carried history, momentum, and the quiet hopes of a nation watching from thousands of miles away. She had arrived at the semifinal not as a surprise guest, but as a statement. Each match before had been a chapter in her unfolding story. Clean strikes, fearless returns, and a composure that belied her youth. The ASB Classic had become a canvas, and Eala had painted it with confidence and resolve. But across the net stood Wang Xinyu, calm and powerful, a player forged in long rallies and relentless pressure. From the first serve, the match revealed its rhythm. Wang played with a steadiness that felt almost immovable, her ground strokes deep and deliberate, her footwork precise. Eala answered with fire, quick steps, sharp angles, and that unmistakable spark that had carried her through the draw. The ball traveled back and forth like a conversation neither player wanted to end, each rally a test of patience and belief. Yet semifinals are rarely just about skill. They are about margins, the inches on a line, the second guessing of a shot, the brief flicker of doubt that can shift momentum. Eala fought for every point, but Wang's experience showed in the crucial moments. Break points were saved with icy calm. Long rallies tilted subtly, almost imperceptibly, in Wang's favor. The crowd felt it too. Cheers rose for Eala's winners, gasps followed her daring shots, but there was an understanding settling over the stadium. This match was slipping, slowly, like sand through fingers. Still, Eala refused to retreat. She chased down impossible balls, wiped sweat from her brow, and reset after every lost point as if it were the first of the match. When the final point arrived, it was not dramatic. No racket smash, no collapse to the court. Just a ball struck cleanly by Wang, landing out of reach. Game. Set. Match. The run was over. Eala stood still for a moment, absorbing the silence that follows defeat. Then she walked to the net, met Wang's eyes, and smiled, a gesture that spoke volumes. In that brief exchange was respect, disappointment, pride, and promise. Loss, especially on a stage like this, has a way of clarifying things. It strips away the noise and leaves only truth. For Eala, the truth was not that she had fallen short, but that she had arrived. She had proven she belonged in these moments, under these lights, against players who had walked this path longer. The ASB Classic semifinal was not an ending. It was a threshold. It was the kind of match players look back on years later and recognize as formative. The kind that teaches where strength lies, and where it must still be built. The kind that sharpens hunger rather than dulls it. As Eala packed her bag and left the court, the echoes of the match lingered, not just in Auckland, but in the imaginations of young athletes who saw in her something familiar and inspiring. She had carried herself with grace, fought with courage, and accepted defeat with maturity. Tennis is often described as a lonely sport, but moments like these prove otherwise. They connect player and audience through shared tension and hope. They remind us that progress is rarely a straight line, and that sometimes the most important victories come wrapped in loss. Eala's ASB Classic run ended in the semifinals, bowed by Wang Xinyu. On paper, that is the result. But in the larger story, the one still being written, it reads very differently.